Okay, good evening, everyone. We are just about going to get ready here, get going in about 1 minute or so. I want to welcome everyone to our training tonight. Looks like everybody found their way back to our new Instant App Wizard page. Please excuse me tonight. I have been recording all day since 6:30 this morning and editing video, and I'm in the middle of about 7 different projects right now. So, but I'll make it through with no problem at all. I've got my Chloraseptic here. And oops, let me turn this down right here behind me because I've got a broadcast going and obviously it's going through. But squirt the throat and get ready to rock and roll. But it's good to see everyone. Yeah, everyone can see our new chat system there. It says chat with Carrie. If you have any questions, just feel free to open that up and chat with me. And if you would, before you send a chat, only thing I can see is a chat number. Just put your name before you send the chat. That way I know who's saying hi and good evening and good morning and the whole 9 yards. But it's a great system and I love it, man. It's just an awesome, awesome system. But without further ado, we are going to get started and we're going to get right back into our sales training. Last week we talked about dominant buying motive, and that's what we're going to start with this week. I just want to do a quick recap over last week. We're going to spend probably the next few days, and somebody said they're going to need an autograph, but that must be Kenny Dutton. And but I want to thank everybody for coming out and being a part of our Wednesday night training and being a part of our new Hangout system that we have. I've had a dozen people tonight ask me as they checked in, how did you build your own system and brand it? That's some of the series that I'm working on for video. I've got some stuff coming out for Instant App Wizard. I've got to finish tomorrow. So that'll be the next thing. I've already got it started, and I'm going to show you guys. Oh, that's Andy. How you doing, Andy, my man? But I'm going to show you guys exactly how you can set this up. It's going to be a step-by-step ebook that shows you how you can set up your own Google Hangouts. You know, it's so timely. Michael Cahill posted an article today in the Facebook group about live video events and how you can use Google Hangouts. And you could use this system right here and go out and sell it to your clients. And when they have live events, or let's say they're having a big sale, in Dallas all the time, the car lots will take an hour on Saturday mornings when they're having a big sale, and they will highlight the cars that they're selling, and they pay a tremendous amount of money for that. Just think if you could go in and give them a custom hangout system that they could advertise and push people to and put that in their app. What do you say, Kenny Dutton? How you doing, buddy? And they put this Google Hangout in their app, and people can watch live as everything is going on. But that was a great article that he posted today. I highly recommend that you go in and read that about live events and being mobile and live events. That's something that can easily be done with Google Hangouts. It's a great program. It's extremely easy to use. And I am going to be showing you that. But we're going to get right on into training now. Welcome, everyone. My name is Kerry Miller, and I am your host on Wednesday evenings. If you would, real quick, if you have not liked our page, go in there and like our page real quick at Instant, right at the bottom of the video. And got a lot of people checking in here at the last minute. Great to have you. And right at the bottom of the video, like us, tweet us, G pluses, linking to us, whatever you've got. And that would be awesome. I appreciate that very, very much. But let's get started here. First off, if you have not joined our YouTube channel, join our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Instant App Wizard. With our new system, the videos are ready immediately after the training, and it will also be live all week on the page that you're on if you want to go in and watch it at the instantappwizard.com/live /training, I believe it is. And so you can go right in there and watch it all week. And you can also watch it through YouTube and right off of our channel as it renders right after the training is done. If you did not receive your text this evening, go to your phone right now and text AppCall, APPCALL, to 727-478-1343. That's AppCall to 727-478-1343. Someone just said, I sound very tired. I am very tired, and I've been very sick today for some reason. So I've got three things going for me. I'm tired, I'm sick, and I'm losing my voice. And if you have not become a member of our Facebook group, go to our Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/Instant App Wizard. And we get a lot of great suggestions, a lot of great ideas. Some people spend their life in there and posting things. But go to our Facebook group. There's a lot of good information that goes on in that group. Last week, we talked about the steps of the sales, and we're going to go right into this. I want to keep our flow going on sales. I've had a lot of great response on this sales training. I've been asked several times, hey, can we use this training for our own people? Can we go in and edit out the Instant App Wizard part? Yes, I recommend you do that. You're not going to get sales training like this anywhere. This is the best sales training you will ever get. I can promise you that. You will not get it anywhere. But last week we talked about the steps of the sales blueprinting. Just like building a home, you've got a blueprint. You got to know where all the pieces and the puzzles are. You got to know all about your client, all about your prospect. When you get ready to go in, you need to know who they are, what they like, what they don't like, what kind of mood they're in the morning. And people know that in the area. The person that referred you to them knows all about that customer, all about that client, that future prospect that you have there. So you want to make sure that you blueprint. You want to make sure that they're qualified. And I spent quite a bit of time on this last week. It doesn't do any good going in trying to sell someone if they're not qualified to buy. And authority to buy and qualification is two totally different things. Qualification means that no matter what you do, no matter how great the price is, no matter how wonderful the product is, if they don't qualify to buy it, if they don't qualify for your product, then guess what? They're never going to use it. They're never going to pay you, and you've wasted a lot of your time by not qualifying your products. Now, don't let decor, don't let the outside appearance of a building, don't let all that stuff be your qualifier. Let your qualifiers be when you talk to that person and ask those open-ended questions. And they're going to let you know real quick if they can afford it. Everybody wants it. Very, very few people may be able to pay your price in the market that you're in. So go to where they are qualified, and it opens up a whole new world. Authority to buy. Do you have the authority to buy? Does the person you're talking to have the authority to buy? They may own the business. They may run the business. They may do every single thing on the inside of that business. But guess what? They don't have the authority to buy. They love what you have, but they don't have the authority to buy. And then we talked about wants, what that person wants in life, okay? And then we talked about needs. What do they need to get that want? Tonight, we're going to talk about the biggie, and we're probably going to spend the next 2 weeks, maybe even 3 weeks on this one topic. That's how important it is. Dominant buying motive, a person's DBM. It is the number one goal in your life, is to know what their dominant buying motive is. If you don't know their dominant buying motive, it's going to be hard to close the deal. I'm not saying you won't, but I'm telling you, if you know their dominant buying motive, if you know their hot button, if you know what's going to turn them on and make them sign that paper, if you know that, you are eons ahead of the game. It's the number one emotional impulse that will cause your prospect to buy. That is what dominant buying motive is. It's emotionally triggered. I know things that emotionally trigger me are family and finances, and the finances to support my family, and being able to do the things that Carrie wants to do, and allowing my family to do the things that my family wants to do. So it's extremely important, you know, that you understand dominant buying motive. And so somebody just texted and said, "Are we training tonight?" Kenny Dutton, is that you that does that? But anyway, so I just answered him back. So dominant buying motive is extremely important, and you've got to get to that point. The DBM, 3 letters you must imprint in your brain, tattoo it on your forehead, put it anywhere you can to remember it, is an emotional fulfillment caused by the attainment of the want and need. If they can attain the want and the need, okay, it's like getting a rush. Some of you are sports fanatics. Some of you do different things. We all do things that really turn us on. Mine is when I'm working on a project and I hit that high point that I know I'm either about finished or it's really turning out a lot better than I thought it would. That is my dominant buying mode. That's my fulfillment. I wanted a great project. I wanted the videos to turn out just perfect. I wanted everything to work good. I wanted my training to be perfect. And what did I need to do that? I needed the right equipment. I needed the right software. I needed the right computer components. I needed the right graphics. And I needed all that stuff to make it happen. This is the hardest blueprinting question to get answered. And that's why it's so important. You know, we may think we have found the dominant buying motive. We may think we have touched that emotional nerve, and we're so far from it that we don't know. What you've done is you've found out kind of emotionally what the want does to him and kind of emotionally what the need does to him, but you have not found the emotional fulfillment, the thing that triggers him to do what you want him to do, and that is to buy your product. And that's the bottom line. We don't go in there to give stuff away. We don't go in there to just to make friends. We go in there to make friends, give a good solid presentation, and walk out with a what? A contract. Because without a contract, we have nothing. And without a contract, we'll never get anything. And, you know, I saw in a group today, and there was a long post. You can go in there and see it. It's like 30 pages long. And someone was talking about, you know, I don't have the money to be able to do some of the things that I want to do. I could tell you right now, let me tell you what his want is. His want is more money. He needs to find out how to get it. And I'm going to tell you what his DBM is, what his emotional buying button is. His emotional buying button is finding out how to bring all that together so that he can be financially stable to do the things he wants. Now, I'm going to tell you something, and listen to what I'm fixing to say. Ideas in the Facebook group are awesome. It helps everyone. If you really want to reach out and give people what they want and need so that they can get that emotional fulfillment and hit their dominant buying motive, take all those great ideas to the street and see if they work, and come back and tell us that you made $100,000 with that idea, or you made 6 sales today, or you made 2 sales today, or what you did just made 1 sale. Theory is nothing but theory. Action is what speaks. So take all the theory and all the things that are being said, and I can promise you, you don't need anyone else to find your DBM for you. You will find it, guaranteed, without question. You can analyze it to death, but until you make it work and you make it happen, and you show somebody that the theory that you placed on paper actually worked, you will never get the emotional fulfillment that you're looking for. That's what I'm talking about when I'm talking dominant buying motive. And I wanted to use that example because we all have it. We all have it in us. We all have that emotional trigger that makes us do what we do and get the things that we want. Okay. And we all know what that is. And we all know where it is, but we don't know how to find it. So I can tell you, if you want to fulfill your emotional need, take all your ideas, all the wants and needs, and bundle it up together. Go out and make it happen, and you will feel that emotional fulfillment in your life. But it is the hardest blueprinting question to ask because you're going into someone that you don't know. And you're going to walk in there and you're going to kind of get a little bit nosy up in their business. Okay? And you're going to stick your nose maybe some places that isn't comfortable. And you're kind of going to get in their business where maybe they think that you don't need to be in their business. But if they understand that you're there to help them, if they understand that you're there to be a part of the solution, that you have everything that they want and everything that they need to fulfill that emotional area in their life that will make everything blossom, then they don't mind you asking. Okay. But you're going to have to get in there and you're going to have to dig and you're going to have to make sure you ask the right questions. We've got the largest crowd tonight we've ever had in a training. And I thank you for that. But you've got to understand, okay, that you've got to get on board to find that DBA. Okay. Somebody just said their friend was a professional broadcaster for years, and I'm feeling so sorry for you about now. I tell you, if you only knew how bad my throat hurted, it's just crazy. But the show must go on, right? Break a leg. Prospects have often been asked what they want in life, even more often told what they need, but rarely, this is a rarity, and that's why I'm teaching this. Guys, I can guarantee you that this is tried and true and proven. It's been on the streets for years and it works, okay? But what amazing is salespeople don't use it. And if they used it, it would be amazing how many more sales they would make. You know, sometimes we say, man, we're making $100,000 a year. I'm tickled pink. Wouldn't it be nice if you did it right and made $250,000 a year? What if you could just add one step? You're already getting the want and the need, okay? You're already blueprinting, you're already doing all that. But this question is never asked. No one ever talks about DBM. No one ever goes into this because it's a personal place, okay? It's a personal place. And we are leery to step in that what you call the comfort zone. Okay. Sometimes the comfort zone gets real uncomfortable. You've always heard, well, if you want to stay 3 foot outside from people, you know, don't get within 3 foot. That's their personal space. But what you've got to do is you've got to enter that personal space and you got to do it. Even more often told what they need, but rarely has anyone asked what all that would do for them in the future. John, I understand what you want, and I can give you what you need. Could you tell me, if you get those 2 things, what is that going to do for you in the future? People are pouring into this training. I'm sitting here just watching the numbers just skyrocket. That's so awesome. I'm glad you're enjoying it. But you would be amazed at what you're going to find out when you know what his want and need are. And then you ask that simple question, John, if I can fulfill and help you get the business that you want, if I can give you this marketing platform, okay, because this is what you need, John, what would that do for you in the future? And shut it off. Tighten your lips, get your clamps out, put them on your mouth, and let him think about it. Because you're going to see an emotional response out of that, because he thinks about it all the time. Trust me, if you don't think that he's got those 2 children that he wants to send to college, that or his son is doing really well in baseball and he would love to go out and hire a personal coach, he thinks about that when he goes to bed at night. He thinks about that new car that his wife's been wanting, but business has been slow and he can't get it for her. He thinks about that fishing boat that he's been longing for, so that he can go out on the lakes on the weekend and forget about the business and enjoy life. You see, that's his deep down emotional trigger, but nobody asks that question in sales. They get the want, the need, they blueprint, they qualify, they know if they've got the authority to buy, but when you're sitting in front of that person, do you know where their emotional trigger is? And you've got to let your prospect, or whatever you call them, your client, your future business, whatever you call it, you've got to let them take time to answer. I cannot stress enough the importance of the DBM and allowing them to open up to you, okay, to open up to you from their heart. How many of you have sat around the campfire? And I'm sure we've all done it in our lives. You've sat around the campfire and the fire is blazing, and all of a sudden, somebody just comes out of nowhere and starts talking about personal things. Because after the campfire has blazed and you've sat there and you've looked into the fire and you can see your whole future before you, it starts bringing emotion out. And it gets so strong in some people that they look around and say, hey guys, man, can I talk to you about something? I really have something here I'd like to share with you. They're fixing to share their dominant buying motive, even though it's not in a sales situation. And you get in those situations with your clients. There is so many things they've wanted to talk to people about. The psychologist. You go in and you pay someone to talk to them. It's the dangest thing I've ever seen in my life. I've got 2 good friends that are psychologists. They make 7 figures. People walking in, sitting in a chair or laying on a couch, telling them they're DBM. You could be their psychologist. You could save them all that money and you could take that and market for them. Okay. You've got to know where they are emotionally in life. And it's hard to get there. It's hard questions to ask. You've always heard the hard questions are the hardest ones to ask. These are the hard questions. You cannot lead them on this blueprinting step. You can't. You've got to allow it to come from within themselves. This is deep in the pit of their stomach. And it's something that they think about 24/7. It's that emotional thing that's going to trigger everything that they need to do, because you could fulfill their wants. You can give them exactly what they need. And now you know exactly where to target. The DBM is why prospects want to do or achieve something in their lives. Emotionally, they know they've got to reach that pinnacle. They've got to get those skis on, and they've got to get those prodders on. They've got to get their hooks out, because they're fixing to climb Mount Everest. And they start up the mountain, and they know exactly what they got to do, but they need to talk to somebody so that they can have a little bit of direction in their life, so that they know exactly where to plant the next spike, so they don't come tumbling down the mountain. And that's what you're able to give them by delving into their personal business, by getting inside to get their DBM. It's what it's the prospects want to do or achieve with something in their lives. That's what the DBM. The DBM is why. Okay? The why. We must understand that buying decisions are emotional. We make emotional decisions all the time. I hate emotional decisions. I hate for myself. I like making things that are obvious and logical. But unfortunately, I'm human like everybody else, and I make emotional decisions. 90% of our decision buying is emotional. Why do you think when they set you in a car, that fresh smell rushes up? The seat feels so good. You don't care what's under the hood. You're fixing to take it out on the road and drive it. And you're going to punch it, and the G-force is going to push you back in the seat. And this salesman knows exactly where you're at. He sees it. He sees the rush and the emotion come over you. You've just been transformed back 30 years while you're sitting in this sports car. And as you punch the gas and you slam it up in fifth gear, he knows right there at that point that you're about to make an emotional decision. That all logic about how much gas it takes and what the payment is and whether or not you can afford it, all of that is going out the door. It's all about the emotion. Did you know that you've got a Rolls Royce sitting on the phone that you're holding in your hand? Did you know it's got the new car smell? Did you know it goes from 0 to 60 in about 3 seconds? Did you know you can slap it into fifth gear and still spin the tires? And take them with what you have in your hand, that mobile phone, that smartphone, and transform them back 30 years and let them feel the emotion, the rush of about what they're about to obtain. Because if you do with that and touch that DBM, they can go out and buy all the sports cars they want, the boats, take their kids to college. They can do all that. Because what happens when a business is running smoothly and marketing is in place properly? What happens? Money comes in. And when money comes in, we can do what? We can do what we work hard for. We can go out and buy the things we want. Only 10% of a buying decision is based on the stated obvious benefit of logical reason, while 90% of the buying decision is based on the non-stated emotional drive. This iceberg here we can see. Only the logical reasons are usually apparent. Everything else is below the surface. And below that surface is where all the emotion lies. You see, logic comes from our brain. That's what's above the water. Emotion comes from our heart. Those strings that you pull as you're making the sale, as you're getting ready to close the deal. That's where you've got to get into. You've got to dive into that deep water, and you've got to find that emotion. Only the logical reasons are apparent. They're all around you. When you walk in, you can see them. You can see the logic on his face that he's got a problem. You've got to find out what that problem is and how to solve it. And then, but in order to do that, you've got to know how it's going to make him feel. Bob, if I give you what you want, I know exactly what you need. How is that going to make you feel in the future? You've got to be able to say it just like that. You've got to be able to reach down and find that dominant buying motive. Prospects will readily tell you that they want more business. They're going to tell you that. You know, I've had a few people call me and say, Kerry, what do you say when somebody says they've got all the business you want? Shake them on the hand, pat them on the back, and tell them that you'll probably see them working at McDonald's in about 5 years because they're not the brightest bulb on the box. The day you think you've got all you need, that's the day you're going to lose everything, because you never, and we see it every day, you never have all the business that you need. It doesn't happen. That person is arrogant. That person is probably hurting worse than your worst customer out there. But he's too arrogant and he's too proud to say, I've got a problem. Trust me, when they say that, their DBM is bigger than anybody's DBM out there. Their want is bigger than anybody's want, and their need is tremendous. If you stay with that person and you work with that person, you'll knock him off his block and you'll get him to come around, and he'll be the best customer you ever had, because nobody's gone in and asked this. John, I bet your business is great. And that is awesome, because I talk to 50 people a day and nobody ever tells me they have all the business they're going to have. So obviously you have exactly what you need. Can I ask you a question, John? Because now you're fixing to hit him. You're going to hit him right between the eyes. Exactly where your business is today, as happy as you are, where is that going to put you in the future? You see, you didn't just walk out. You left him with a thought statement. And you're not going to say anything else, because now you're done with the sale, because you're not going to close him today. But what you want to do, you want to leave him with something that's going to work on him emotionally when he lays in bed at night. And he's going to realize, you know what? That guy that stopped by my office today, man, he was right. Where am I going to be in 5 years? Where am I going to be in 10 years if I don't open my eyes? You know, realistically, my business is off 30% this year. Yeah, I'm doing better than everybody else, but not as good as I'd like to. But I don't know how to tell people that. I'd sure like to. I hope he comes back by, because I don't know what he's selling, but I sure do need it. You see, it's easy to get a want. It's easy to get a need. The sales rep job is to dig down to the bottom of the iceberg and find the prospect's non-stated, something he has not said, something he has not told you, but you can see it in his eyes. My mom used to tell me she knew exactly what I was thinking by looking into my eyes. I once heard a man say, my mother said that she could see my soul right through my eyes and know exactly where my heart was. You see, the eyes are very important. And you've got to go through those eyes and you've got to dig down and find that emotional point in their lives. I want you to all stop. I'm going to stop for about 15 seconds. I want you to think about yourselves for about 15 seconds. You're all in business for a reason, but you don't really share that reason with anyone. And I'm not going to ask you to share it with me. You joined this company for a reason. You knew what your want was. You knew what your need was. And we fulfilled that need. You wanted your own business. What is this today going to do for you in the future? Is sitting back and talking theory and analyzing what everybody else says going to get you where you need to go? No, because that's not going to fulfill the emotional sense that you have that's burning in your stomach. What's going to get you there is more sales, more money, more clients, more money, more prospects, more money, sell more objects, more money, get the blinders off and expand your product base, more money. Where will you be in the future with what you're doing today? And if you will allow your DBM, if you will allow that emotional drive to start driving your business, and I'm talking about your mobile app business, you will explode so far off the charts this year. It'll be phenomenal what you can do if you tap into your emotional drive. Only then can the sales rep make an effective sales presentation. The sales rep's chance of selling a prospect on the obvious benefits is increased by knowing the emotional drive behind the stated want. If you know and can fulfill the prospect's DBM, the sale is almost closed. If you can truly get inside, and there's an art. Matter of fact, there's a book out there called The Art of the Sale. I think it's Tom Hopkins. I'm not sure. Someone could correct me on that, but I believe it's called The Art of the Sale. And, but you know, it's, the art, there is a set art, there is a, selling is, what am I trying to say? My brain's thinking three different things here. There is a true art to selling, but the true art is going in and being able to find that dominant buying motive. Without that, it's hard to get to the close, because you cannot tap into that emotional drive that's going to get him to press hard 3 copies. When you find that and you can sell to that, I want to tell you right now, there's no stopping him and or you. He will want everything that you have, because you've just shown him that you're true, that you're real, that you're there to help what? Who are you there to help? You're there to help him. Sorry about that. That was my dog. She was asleep in my lap. You're there to help him. That's so, so important. Or her, or the business. You're not there for yourself. Did you know if you take yourself out of the picture completely, and I know it's hard to do, it's hard for me to do. Did you know if you totally take yourself out of the picture of everything you do and make it about everybody else, when they see that, your sales again will skyrocket. If that person truly believes you're there for them and not for a check, they'll write you more checks than you've ever seen, because they know you're authentic. You see, they know you've got a DBM. Now, is your emotional drive, is it strictly money and going out and doing that? Yes, How to Master the Art of Sale, Tom Hopkins. Thank you. I thought it was. You know, is your drive strictly money, or is your drive truly to help people? Don't think for a second that they can't see that, because they can. To find a prospect's dominant buying motive, you have to ask questions like this. I know increasing business is important. Once you have the business and the revenue is up, what do you feel it will do for you? I hope everybody has snippet or some way to get this screenshot right here, the next and the next screenshot. Okay, you need to get the next couple of screenshots. All right. I know increasing business is important. Once you have the business and revenue is up, what do you feel it will do for you? I'm telling you, those open-ended questions, diving deep in under the water, is going to make you a superstar. Guaranteed a superstar. Or this, once you have the business you are looking for and the revenue you want, how do you feel you will benefit most from it? John, let me ask you a question. We've been talking, and I understand where your business is at. And I know that we need to bring you more business in the door. We've established that fact. And I know that you want to bring more clients through the door so that you can make more revenue. And so you need clients. You want to increase your business. I've got the tools that can get you there. And we've already established all that, John. John, I'm going to get personal with you for just a moment, if I could. And talk to them like they're a friend. Okay? And I'll share a story with you in just a moment after I finish this one statement. How do you feel you will benefit most from it? And close your mouth. Don't say another word. Nothing. I was speaking to a man and his wife last Saturday night. It was. I'll show you guys the app on the training next week. It's basically a 1. It's not our 1.0 app, but it's basically the 1.0 style. I want 3 people or anybody. I want you to go in real quick while I'm talking and tell me what you think he paid for that 1.0 app for his business. A 1.0 app for his business, and they sell party favors online. Just go into the little chat box right now as I'm telling this story and tell me what you think he paid for a 1.0 full-blown app, okay? It did have a shopping cart on it, a crappy shopping cart, and I let him know that. But tell me what you think he paid for a full-blown 1.0 app with a shopping cart on it. It was about 10 pages, about 10 pages. But anyway, I'm standing there talking to him, and I could tell he was a very smart individual. But sometimes we're so smart we can't see the trees. And I was talking to him about his app. And I was making some recommendations that he should do. And I asked him, I said, let me ask you a question. What makes you think you're going to grow if you don't market what you have? And he said, well, I've got to get there. So I asked him, I said, let me ask you a question. I said, do you have a Facebook page? He said, yeah, I've got a Facebook page. He had 1,400 people on his Facebook page. 1,400 people. They post less than once a week. One of you got it right on the button. One of you is very, very close. And one of you got it right on the button. And he looked at me for a minute. And it was kind of like, who are you to sit here to talk to me like this? And his name was Bob. And I've got his number. And matter of fact, we're going out to dinner this weekend. And I said, Bob, I'm going to tell you right now, my friend, you've got to take off your blinders and get into the real world. You got 1,400 people on Facebook. I said, you've got a Twitter page and you've never tweeted once. I said, he didn't even have a YouTube channel. And his wife on YouTube would probably be a sensation at making these party bags and showing people how to throw parties. And so we talked all about that, and they're going to put all that together, and I'm going to work with them on that and put that together. But you know what? I had to be bold to stand there and tell someone that I had just met that, hey, you got a problem, you know? And the problem is you can't see the forest for the trees. And that's a serious problem. Everybody's cubby in. No, the screen's not frozen. I just hadn't changed it. So anyway, I talked to him, and when he told me he paid $3,500 for that app and $300 a month for the shopping cart. $3,500. I nearly fell out of my chair. I told him, I said, first off, I just want you to know you got ripped off. I said, for what you got, your shopping cart is not worth that much money. I said, you can go into Shopify and get it for $175 a month and have a powerhouse. And the app was terrible. The buttons went nowhere, and they were just the worst I've ever seen in my life. But you know, that was my opinion, and we're actually going to work together, and he's going to pay me some of that money and help him fix the problem. But you know what? You have to know what's going to benefit them in the future. You see, people don't know what's going on. He didn't have a clue. He was just spending money. And you know why he spent that money? Because his webmaster called him and said, hey, dude, you got to get mobile ready this week because of Mobilegeddon. And he said, I didn't have no choice, Kerry. I had to do it. Just a food for thought. So once you have the business you are looking for and the revenue you want, how do you feel you will benefit most from it in the future? You've got to ask those hard questions. You've got to get inside their head and you've got to get inside their heart. Although we're trying to determine the prospect's emotional benefit, try to avoid, and this is extremely important and it's the hardest thing to do, try to avoid asking how attaining the want and the need will make them feel. Because they're going to respond with an adjective every single time. Oh, it's going to make me feel so good. Oh, I'll feel so much better. Oh, that's going to be great. You don't want to know how the want and the need is going to make them feel. Okay? You've got to want to know what their emotional response of achieving and receiving the want and the need makes them feel. Emotionally charged to get where they want to go. We're going to stop right there on that portion of DBM because the next portion is another 45 minutes, okay? So I'm going to stop right there, but we're not going to end training. I want to talk to you just a couple of minutes on another topic. But next week, we're going to talk about translating, okay? Real life is never as simple as we make it appear in the discussions of sales techniques. It's very hard to see where people are coming from. Some people have no emotion, zero emotion, okay? Prospects have never studied sales. Some of them know just enough to be dangerous. Therefore, they don't always respond as we plan. The art of persuasive communication includes the ability not only to hear what your prospect is saying, but also being able to translate that as well. And this, when we talk next week on translating and understanding and getting deeply involved in the conversation, you're going to see that you've probably lost thousands of sales because you did not translate the conversation correctly. And it happens. And so we're going to talk about translating, okay? And we're going to talk about understanding the conversation and where it comes from and what it does and what you've got to do to get that emotional buying response from your client. You know, how many of you thought that sales was this deep? Is there anybody on the call right here that ever dreamed that sales was truly a psychological dream, that a psychological process of working with someone? How many of you have said, "Oh shoot, Kerry, I don't need that crap. I walk in and make 2 or 3 sales every day"? How many of you, now that we're deep into this sales process, ever thought about the things or have never thought about the things? Let me see how to ask this question because I want you to put yes or no. Have you ever delved into sales this deeply to where you knew that there was an emotional response of making that sale and getting the sale closed 90% of the time? Did you ever realize that there was something out there that would allow you to do that? Just say yes or no in the chat box real quick. And I know it's going to take a couple of seconds for this to come through because you guys are about a minute behind me. But you have to understand what you do today not only affects their future, but it affects your future and where you're going to go. I talk about this almost weekly, is giving them value where they continually give you a check, okay, and you sit back and you look at what's going on, but emotionally, you just can't get to where you want to be. It takes talking to people about that. And people want to talk to you. Everybody wants a friend. Everybody wants somebody they can talk to. And you have to understand about 50% of the people said yes. and the other 50% said no, they never dreamed this was sales. This is the kind of sales that will make you rich beyond belief. You see, it's more than walking in the door, showing your business card, then walking out. If you want them to buy the total package, including you, you've got to do your sales this way. Think about this a moment. And this was probably one of the arguments in the group in that long post. It wasn't an argument. It was just statements being made. Is it easier to go out and get XYZ, a person, and go get 1,000 people? Or is it easier to go out and get 100 people at, $3,000 a pop? I can tell you, anybody can go out and sell a mobile app for 150 bucks. You can take people off the street and never sell anything else, and you're going to constantly sell apps for $150 for the rest of your entire life. We all know that residual income is the key to wealth. I don't care what it is. If you're drilling for oil and you hit oil and you took 5 barrels out and you capped the well and you never got any more oil out, what did you just turn off? You just turned off the residual money flow of that well. You guys have in your hands an oil well that's once tapped into can make you money time after time after time after time after time. You take that product, and it doesn't matter how you started off, whether it's a full-blown app or whether it's a digital business card. And you all know how fond I am of the digital business card, because I believe that that's a great way to step them into huge amounts of money. But if you do not go back and you cap off that lid on your personal oil well, after you get that $150 and you don't go back and offer them something else, you will never, ever have residual income. The number one residual tool you have in your toolbox, and I have preached this and preached this and preached this and preached this. I could write a full sermon for 6 hours on this one topic. What is the number one residual income tool you have in your toolbox? And I'm gonna stop, and it's gonna probably go dead for about a minute, but I want everybody to answer this question. I want you to go to the chat box. It says Ask Carrie on it, and I want you to tell me what your number one tool is, okay, for residual income in your toolbox. Just go down through there and start telling me. And I know it's going to take just a second. People are still saying yes to the question that I asked about, did you realize sales was this deep? The marketing platform. People are starting to answer. Imagination. I don't know how much imagination is going to make you residual income. My imagination don't make me a freaking dime. My brain. The answers are all over the place, and I figured they would be. Google Analytics follow-up. Offering more value. Now, guys, I'm talking about a product that you have, that will continually make you money every month. A product that you have that will continue. And we got, I mean, there's everybody's blinking blue. I'm going to tell you right now, the number one residual product you have in your toolbox, whether you believe it or not, is text message marketing. Text message marketing. Because that is the one item that you have as it exponentially grows, okay? As it exponentially grows, your revenue continues to increase. Think about this for a moment. You've got 200 clients at $500 a month on texting. And that's very easy to do if they're out there busting it and making it happen. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you teach them how to do that, you could easily make $10, $15, $20,000 a month on 100 clients. Easily. Now you go out there, and that's a product you sell. Now, what's another product you can sell? Facebook. You have to have Facebook to go along with what? Your marketing platform. Okay? Your marketing platform. What else do you have to go with the marketing platform? Twitter. You have to have Twitter to work the marketing platform correctly. So you have 4 things you can sell them. You can sell them email marketing. You can sell them Twitter marketing. You can sell them Facebook marketing. And you can sell them text marketing. And all tied together, that's probably about $350 a month. About $350 a month. $350 a month times 100 clients is how much a month? $350 a month times 100 clients is how much a month? I mean, it doesn't take a rocket science to figure that out. You know, I mean, go out and get you 350 clients. I mean, I'm sorry. What did I say? 100 clients? Go out and get you 100 clients at $350 a month, and you're rocking some cash. And whoever was talking about the cash flow today, I'm telling you, you want to get some cash flow? Go out and do that. That's $35,000 a month. How many of you would like to have $35,000 a month? Anybody? Would you like to make $35,000? An imaginary Bugatti. I hear you, brother. Would anybody here like to make $35,000 a month? Absolutely, you would. Did you know you could do that with 100 clients, just getting them their app and working the marketing platform in for them and actually doing something for them and showing them how it works? You bet your bottom dollar you can. So while you're thinking tonight about your dominant buying motive, I want you to take the blinders off, and tonight I want you to expand your business. I want you to expand your business, and I want you to start selling more product starting tomorrow. Text message marketing, and don't tell me you do, because I can go and look in your platform and tell you don't. Text message marketing, email marketing, Facebook marketing, and Twitter marketing. Those things right there can earn you $35,000 a month for the rest of your life, as long as that business is open, as long as you teach them how to use it. They're spending more than $350 a month right now on newspaper and print ads. Guarantee it. How many of you walk in and ask them, and I saw somebody, I think Kenny Dutton posted this, what is everybody's advertising budget? You know, I mean, do you ask that question? Hey, what are you spending every month on advertising, Jim? About $1,000 a month. Boy, how would you like to reduce that down to $350 a month, and let me show you how to really market to your clients? At the touch of a button, you can take $350 of that $1,000 and do more for him a month than any newspaper ad will ever do. I guarantee it. Because you can reach out and touch the clients and bring them in the door immediately. So I close with this. What is your DBM? What's your dominant buying motive? What is your trigger? What takes you where you want to go? What takes you where you've been? I'm here to tell you, if you find it, you're going to take yourself places no one has ever gone. And that's a promise. I want to thank everybody for coming out. I apologize for my voice. I am way under the weather this evening, and my voice is just about gone. But I thank you so much for sticking with us. I bet tonight's the largest crowd we've ever had on a training, ever. And I hope you like it. I hope you like our new training. And I hope you like our new format. I love it. I absolutely love it. Matter of fact, it'll be posted in just a few minutes in the Facebook group. So you folks have a good night. Have a great week. God bless, and I will see you in the Facebook group.